This point in the season, way back last fall. Let's look first of all at Victoria, 9-1 in first place in Canada West, but upset on their own court by Saskatchewan in the Canada West semifinals. However, they are back on track thanks to a win over St. Francis Xavier on Friday night. Great night for David Sheehan, the veteran, number 22. He had 21 points. A great night as well for another veteran, 7-footer Clemens. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 80-72 the final. Victoria beats St. Francis Xavier. And what about the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns? Well, they had kind of an up-and-down season, second in Canada West, but boy, have they been hot in the playoffs. They beat Calgary in the semifinals. They beat Saskatchewan for their first ever Canada West final. And Friday night, they beat number 9 ranked Concordia to get to this point. 23 points for Ken McMurray, 16 for Brent Maxwell, and it is Lethbridge 77, Concordia 58. Jack Donahue joins me now, and the men who have done the job for Victoria in these two games against Lethbridge early in the season, both of them Victoria wins, have been the guards, Jack.
They certainly have, and I'll tell you, Clemens, Jamie Newman, and Dave Sheehan, they've got to do their job, but the biggest thing that's got to happen is the University of Victoria. These three young gentlemen, and here we have Lloyd Scrubb, Randy Steele, and Vito Pasquale. They got to stay out of the bakery. They got to stay away from the turnovers, because that could be the key to the game today.
All right, Jack, and the man that both coaches talk about when you talk about Lethbridge is young David Ross.
Well, David Ross is 6'6" Lethbridge native, and what David has got to do tonight is to do what he does best. That's run and jump. Run up and down that court, jump and get some rebounds. He's got to have a good, steady game. We know we're going to get a good game out of the back court, but he's got to be really steady, ready to play.
All right, Jack, this should be a dandy. A Canada West matchup. Lethbridge, ranked number 5 against Victoria, the defending national champion, come into this tournament ranked number 3. From the Sportsplex in Lethbridge, the player introductions in the first half coming your way in just a moment. Number 22, Dave Sheehan. Number 30, Sean Kalinovich. Number 55, Clemens. And the head coach of the Victoria Vikings is Ken Shields. There you have the University of Victoria Vikings, ladies and gentlemen. Now the starting lineup for the Pronghorns of Lethbridge. Number 10, Brent Maxwell. Number 22, Jerome L. Number 30, Ken McMurray. Number 32, Dave Ross. Number 50, Ryan Heggie. The head coach of the Pronghorns is Ken Olenek. The University of Lethbridge Pronghorns. The officials for this game, Frank Cicchetti from Guelph, Peter Andros from Thunder Bay. Far West Regional Final, Lethbridge against Victoria. These two teams have met twice this year in regular season play, once here in Lethbridge, once in Victoria. The Vikings the winners on both occasions, by 11 in the first game, by 9 in the second. But I think you throw the regular season out the window right now, because this Pronghorn team has been hot in the playoffs, Jack Donahue. And Victoria still doesn't have the intensity level that it's going to need to win this game and go on to the Final Four. Let's see what they can do against a very good opponent. Lethbridge ranked number 5 in the country coming into the regionals. Victoria ranked number 3. There's Sheehan, a little hook shot, 2-0 Victoria.
When Clemens gets the ball, they'd rather Clemens doesn't touch that ball. When he gets it, they want him to pass off. They're worried about his little drop step where he goes back in and gets himself a little baby hook or a layup. Didn't work out for them that time, but they did get him to hand that ball off.
Here's McMurray, 23 in the first game on Friday night against Concordia. He misses from the outside his first try, and Lloyd Scrubb comes back down for the Vikings. Kalinovich starting in place of the veteran Newman gives Victoria a 4-0 lead.
of a sub to have come in there. Jamie Newman, big rebounder, started most of the year for them. And this young man just comes in there, whacks in his first shot.
Well, the story of the Victoria Vikings this year has been the play of the bench. A little defense, and then all of a sudden, Ryan Higgy scores for Lethbridge. Clemens nearly stole the loose ball there and just had it knocked away at the last moment, and Lethbridge gets on the board. We're talking about the Victoria bench. It has been perhaps the best part of the Victoria story this year. Clemens misses on the first try. Higgy on the rebound. Clemens on the foul.
Certainly, Ken Shields is up, but let's see the play. See, he thinks that Cord Clemens got whacked earlier. Obviously, Clemens whacks him now. Ken Shields is up complaining about what happened to Cord Clemens before that call.
The stare directed toward Peter Andros. Higgy. And Kenny McMurray, who's a great scorer, shows you a little playmaking ability on this play.
Watch this play. Look at the pass off on that. And he lays the ball up. I think I could have made that. I know I couldn't have made it. Takes a good player to make those shots. But Mr. McMurray, the shooter, did a very good job of passing off.
McMurray on the arm, called for his first foul.
Cord Clemens in there, he felt he got hit. Ken Shields thought he got hit a couple times.
Kalinovich, turnaround jumper. Scrub, rebound. And Higgy played the ball off for Al, played it off the glass, and Kalinovich gets called for the push.
Here's that play. See, this is the problem. When that ball gets knocked loose, Kalinovich went after that basketball. Sean just hustling for the ball. Nobody can get upset about that kind of a foul. Not when you're going after the basketball.
Jerome L. works against Kalinovich.
Press. Just a token press by Victoria.
Inside to Higgy, and Steele knocked the ball away. Here comes Randy Steele, veteran fifth-year guard. Sheehan.
Watch this play. This is a great play. Watch him go to the basket and just slide by the defensive player.
Maxwell dumps it into the corner. Higgy lost it initially, dumped it outside, and McMurray recovers to Dave Ross to McMurray. Higgy inside, turnaround jumper. It's Victoria 6 and Ryan Higgy 6.
Look at that pass in. And a little fadeaway jumper takes away the size advantage. If you go back into that player, sometimes you get him a foul, but when he takes that little shot, there's no way that it can get blocked. But I tell you what, if Cord Clemens gets the ball down low and is allowed to maneuver like that, Lethbridge in a lot of trouble.
Out of bounds, and we'll take a break for just a moment. 16:37 to go here in the first half from Lethbridge. 8-6 Victoria.
The most comprehensive curling coverage in Canada continues on the Sports Network with the prestigious Silver Broom World Curling Championship. We'll have 5 consecutive days of round-robin live coverage starting Monday, March 31st and continuing to April 4th. With 2 broadcasts daily at 1:30 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. And on Friday, April 4th, our broadcast starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Join us live from the C&E Coliseum in Toronto starting March 31st here on the Sports Network.
10-6 the score. Kalinovich just made a basket, and it is Victoria by 4 over the University of Lethbridge. And Maxwell finds a little lane and gets called on the travel.
Little steps. That's what Ken Olenek is up saying. They were little steps. How can you call that?
When Ken Olenek gets up, it's a story. The man's about 6'7". He's a pretty good basketball player in his own right, and he is yet another of the disciples of Ken Shields. Coached for a couple of years at Victoria. He also worked with the national junior team, and he's done a great job in 7 years at the University of Lethbridge, mainly with local talent. He's built a very fine basketball program. Inside to Clemens and back out to Scrub, and back inside to Clemens and a foul. Ryan Higgy, the youngster Webster, first-year player from Raymond, Alberta. His first personal.
Ken Olenek looks up at that foul. He doesn't have much of a complaint about it, but he still doesn't have to like it.
Sheehan. The veteran from Highland Secondary in Comox, British Columbia, playing out the string now. This is his final year of eligibility. It might be his last basketball game, but he's got 6 points, and it's now 12-6 Victoria.
What we have to remember, Peter, is when they spend all that time laying in there on top of Cord Clemens, it's going to open up, especially for a guy like Sheehan. He's a great opportunist.
Everything worked right, except the basket didn't go in, and I think they call goaltending.
Call it basket interference. They went up and whacked that ball when it's up over the basket.
There's another turnover, this time by Lloyd Scrubb, and he throws it up in the air and then gets the rebound, and there's a foul. Blue is Randy Steele.
Well, there's a lot of bump, but Ken Shields is up, and I can understand his position. He realizes if he's going to get in trouble in this game, it's going to be with his backcourtmen getting the ball knocked loose, and he doesn't want any bumping of those backcourtmen.
Here comes McMurray, and we got another foul, this time against Scrubb. No, it's not against. It's an offensive foul against Kenny McMurray.
It's his second foul. Can ill afford that this early in a basketball game.
McMurray, number 30, such a key performer for the University of Lethbridge. Led the team in scoring all year. And they have to keep him in the basketball game to have a chance to win it. A blocking call, this time against Jerome L.
Let's you come here. Watch this guy go into orbit. Holy mackerel. It's a tough time. That young man, it's a good thing he's a good athlete and he can control himself.
David Sheehan to inbounds into Kalinovich. And now Lloyd Scrubb will set up this Victoria offense. Down to 14 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the first half. It's a 14-6 ball game. Victoria by 8. Kalinovich. He's got 6 points.
Victoria in a zone defense. It's what Lethbridge expected. They're very, very worried about Cord Clemens sealing the ball and it entering in from the weak side.
Hagee looks, finds a little lane. Sheehan saved. Scrubb kept it in play. Fast break to Steele. To Clemens. Well, Jack, we talked about the guards, and so far, Scrubb and Steele have really been a major factor in this game for Victoria.
They have. The concern that we've had, and maybe Ken Shields had, about whether or not they could stand this pressure, the constant pressure that's coming out of Lethbridge, certainly no problem there.
And playing good defense, too. They've been a major factor in forcing some turnovers, and they force another one now as Scrubb brings it back for Victoria.
Lethbridge in 2-3 zone. 2-3 zone, trying to attack the ball, trying to stay in on top. They want to put some people in on Cord Clemens.
Kalinovich in traffic, has to come back outside. Steele, there's Clemens rebounding. And this time, Dave Ross comes in with the loose ball. Ross.
Pass off to the side. Ross pumps it up. Boy, he knows what to do when he gets his hands on the ball.
Maxwell called for the foul. We'll take a break. 12:55 to go here in the first half from Lethbridge. It is 18-8 Victoria by 10. It'll be Victoria basketball on the out-of-bounds play, and you just had a picture there briefly of Doug Dino, the Concordia coach. We want to congratulate the Stingers. 83-73 winners over St. Francis Xavier in the battle for third place in this Western Regional. And so a pretty good season for Concordia ends on a disappointing note, as they can do no better than third at Lethbridge. But they're a good basketball team, and that's a good program, and we'll hear more from them next year for sure.
That's right. Doug's here with his wife, Linda. They've had a good time here except for the losses. Doug certainly is not excited about that.
Whoa. Sheehan inside. There's Clemens once again. Clemens with 6. It is 20-8.
Watch this guy go after the basketball here. Along the baseline, pumped up. Here comes Clemens. Great position, and then sticks it up over everyone.
McMurray. It's the score sheet for the first time in the ball game. Shields really upset with the officiating. Clemens for the rebound. And we get a foul.
Ball is on goal. 5-0.
The rookie Heggie is called. Here comes Curtis French, number 34, into the ball game for the University of Lethbridge. Heggie will come out for a rest.
They're giving away an inch or so, but more important, they're giving about 25 pounds when Heggie goes out. And they're going to need that in there.
Clemens, 64% from the free throw line coming into this tournament. 2 for 2 on this time. No, Jack, David Sheehan, when he plays well, really opens a lot of space for Cord Clemens. Maxwell under pressure. And they flip it out. Kalinovic nearly stole it. And I got the basketball.
You got the ball. You think they're going to let us play? One thing, I wish the guys that played basketball with you, Peter, would know that. That's the first time anybody heard if you've ever passed on the ball. Usually when you get your hands on it, you shoot it.
Kalinovic inside, works against French. Tried to have a turnaround. Great defense by Jerome L. Maxwell. McMurray, he's the dangerous man. Number 30. There's a little drive to the inside, and Clemens hauled the rebound off the glass and got the outlet pass to Steele. Kalinovic is loose on the left side. Steele throws it back outside, and Sheehan hands off to Scrub.
Scrub's getting it organized.
11:05 to go in the first half from Lethbridge. 22-10 the score. Pass looking for Clemens, goes out of bounds. Clemens is only 7 feet tall. He would have had to have been about 8.5 to get that one.
That's right. Let's see, next few minutes. Really tough situation now.
McMurray looks and fires. And Kalinovic got the rebound. Here comes Sheehan. Sheehan's got 8.
Sheehan stop, pump, straight up, bounce and banger right off that board.
Ross was robbed. Kalinovic got the rebound. This is the best Victoria's looked in a long time. Steele goes to the glass and is fouled. We've got substitutions coming into the ball game. As you look at Sean Gilborn from Lethbridge, Alberta, he's in now. And we've got a timeout on the floor as well with 10:21 to go in the first half.
Timeout by Lethbridge, and they just can't afford to get it. I mean, 10 minutes into the game, they're down 14, and they haven't established any kind of a game at all. What they wanted to do was put a lot of pressure on Victoria, make the game be played over 94 feet. Let's see this.
Do not give up any second shots. What did I say on offense? Move the ball. Move the ball. We're moving it one pass, shooting it. All right? Move the basketball. Okay, and then 22 press when we score. Back 2-3, and you got to be active. You got to box. All right? Step in, take the charge when they go to the hoop. All right? Okay, let's do the job now. Let's do the job. Let's go. Fine.
All right, well, he's got to get everything organized, Peter. We understand that. If he doesn't get it organized now, it's liable to go right down the drain.
You're looking at a little bit of a shot of this beautiful Lethbridge Sportsplex in Catalytic. This is a 11-year-old building. Built in 1975 for the Canada Winter Games, which were held here in Lethbridge. And it's a gorgeous facility, seats about 5,200. I guess there's about 3,500 here for a basketball game. And they are a noisy, enthusiastic sixth man for the Lethbridge Pronghorns.
And they're making enough noise for 5,200. I was here when this opened, by the way, for the Canada game. It's a beautiful facility. Wish we had more of them like this across the country. Listen to that noise, though. Listen to them get after it.
Randy Steele at the free throw line. You know, Jack, there are two keys to any team's intensity level, and you can read it very quickly. One's the way they play defense, the other's the way they rebound. I like what I see of Victoria in this game so far.
They could at this particular time, they're in a spot where they could blow Lethbridge out. Not sure that Lethbridge is going to allow that to happen. But I'll tell you, the way the game is going now, they could really go out after.
Referee Peter Andros is drawing the ire of the Victoria bench for about the 4th time here in the first half. Here's Wade Lukes getting set to come into the ball game.
Well, he handled that. Now here we go. They're trying to get something going on this. See if we can get something.
Now we got a problem as Frank Cicchetti comes over to the referee's bench. Victoria manager Al Dutteridge there as well. Lukes is coming in. Newman's on the floor. Kalinovich is coming out. And Clemens is coming out as well. So a little shorter lineup in there for the University of Victoria.
Concerned about the foul.
Gilborn around to McMurray. Ross. Moving the ball around the perimeter. Victoria playing good defense. Newman now makes the call. And Sheehan got the loose ball. And here's Vito Pasquale, who's in the game in the backcourt with Lloyd Struff.
Ken Shields is upset about something. Has to do something with the fouls, and he's going to stop this game first chance he gets, I think.
Pasquale off the rim. Sheehan after the loose ball. Hey. What a job number 22 is doing so far in this first half. Lloyd Scrubb now. Pasquale looks inside. Newman. There's a great move to the basket by Wade Lukes.
We've got Victoria is still in complete control of the game, and they're resting some of their players already. They've got some guys sitting down, and they still got control of the game. This is when Lethbridge got to come out for this half anyway. They may not get this opportunity again.
McMurray. Ken Shields hollering at Wade Lukes. Traveling call against Struff.
That's what we were concerned about. That's what Victoria's got to be worried about. Whether or not there's a turnover situation.
Coming in for Victoria now, and we'll take a break for a moment. 8:43 to go here in the first half from Lethbridge.
Get on top of that post man, and you get out on McMurray when the ball goes to the corner. What was the call down there?
Traveling. Who'd you have, Dave? Dave, who'd you have?
All right,
okay, keep playing defense now. You got to keep playing defense.
I got Ross to take. Who you got?
Got himself in pretty good shape. 15 points. Doesn't want to make too many changes. Doesn't want to do too much complaining.
Organize on this record. Bracket up the ball out. Okay? You're in the middle. You're up with Lloyd and your team. Come to meet the ball when it's passed. Keep moving the ball on offense. Keep moving. We'll get good shots. Keep the pressure on them. Come on.
Ken finishes up with his defensive talk. Keep the pressure on them. See what's going on. 15 points. A little rested for some players at rest. Clemens is back in the basketball game.
And Dave Sheehan, who's played so very well in the first half, he's got 8 points. He's played some great defense and done some rebounding. And he's now sitting down and having a little break. And there's McMurray.
Shields got to be disappointed. Talked about McMurray the last time out, and then he comes and gets an open shot.
He can even this game up in a hurry all by himself. Foul. Clemens will go to the line. 22 gold is Jerome L.
Down at the bottom of the screen, we saw Ken Shields talking to one of his players, trying to get after them. Get over the top of that screen and get out on McMurray.
L with 2 fouls now. That has to be a little bit of a concern to Ken Olenek. And the big guy Clemens is 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Let's make that 4 for 4.
And that's with a towel waving right in his face from under the basket.
Gilborn gets it around to French. Looking to get the ball to McMurray, but they go inside instead to Boros and back out again. That time they got out in McMurray's face, didn't give him a chance to shoot. Scrub on the steal. He's got Newman with him. 2-on-1, Scrub. And the foul is going against Curtis French.
And they're in a one-on-one situation. Here's the play. French, instead of getting good seats, going after the basketball. If he backed up and held his position, he would have forced Lloyd Scrub either to go to the corner or outside possibility that he would have charged. Scrub, knowing how he handles the ball, probably would have gone to the corner, and we wouldn't be standing on the foul line. They would have come back up and set up their offense.
Scrub started his college career at the University of British Columbia. He's been in the Victoria lineup for a couple of years now, and has really helped to steady that guard position down. And Scrub is 2 for 2 from the line. Victoria to inbounds, but it's 31 to 14, and Victoria has added a half a dozen points since that last time out. 17-point advantage, one of the biggest leads any team has had in the tournament so far. McMurray. Jerome L now throws it into the corner. Looking inside, and the ball is rejected by Luke. And then McMurray missed, and Clemens can't get the rebound, but Scrub. And the Lethbridge player knocked it out of bounds, and it's Victoria ball. And both officials called it, and Ken Olenek is not pleased.
Not at all. He wanted a foul on that. There was contact. Referees have got to decide what contact this is.
And your partner better blow his whistle. That's a crock.
I think
Newman.
we got that clear. He expects somebody to
no interpretation necessary.
That's right. That's right.
Scrub looks to the corner to Jamie Newman. And around to Pasquale. And this time McMurray gets the rebound. Gilborn.
McMurray with the ball on that fast break opens up a lot of areas for other people. You cannot back up on him knowing he's going to shoot. Got a turnover.
Traveling call against Pasquale.
Olenek is still not happy. Wanted a charge on that.
6:50 to go in the first half from Lethbridge. The ball comes inside. L is fouled by Lukes. 31 to 16 is the score.
Foul is on Victoria's number 32, Wade Lukes.
Victoria has 6 minutes, and they can afford to give one more foul in that 6 minutes period. However, they get to shoot every time they get fouled. They're in a bonus situation.
Inside L against Clemens. Maxwell puts it down. Nice pass. And no goaltending call, and L got the rebound and gets turned away again. Clemens rejects another one. Great job defensively, but pretty close to a goaltending call there. Inside, Newman knocked it away. Foul.
The contact is what Ken Olenek is after. He's going after the referees, and there's a lot of people getting banged in there. Take a look at this now. There's not anything there. Let's watch again. McMurray with the basketball around to the top, and we're going to see some banging. Olenek wanted that call. He wanted that call. And he finally got the call here.
Lukes in traffic, hauls the loose ball in, gets it to Pasquale. And we get another foul, this time against Maxwell.
Foul is on Pronghorns number 10, Brent Maxwell, his second. Vito Pasquale to the foul line, shooting on the bonus for the Vikings.
Well, there's a little intensity level on both benches, and neither bench very pleased with the officiating. But the fact of the matter is, the Gunners for Victoria put 31 points up on the board.
Well, here's Vito Pasquale on the line, and speaking with Ken Olenek early in the morning, actually, over a cup of coffee, this is the guy he said that has really beat them when it chips it down in the games that they've played against Victoria this year. He said over a period of time, it's the guy that annoys him the most is Vito Pasquale.
Maxwell. Gilborn. McMurray has to come back outside. Feverish defense by the Victoria Vikings. Inside now this time, and there's a nice turnaround jumper by Darren Boros, the first-year art student from Coaldale, Alberta. His first points of the game. Down to 5:35 to go in the first half. 32-18.
The goal of Lethbridge right now is to try and get this under 10 at halftime. To not let it get any worse than it is now, and it is already.
Great pass inside by the sophomore Wade Lukes, and Clemens cashed it in. He's got a dozen in the first half. 34-18 to score, 5:10 to go in the first period. Remember, the winner of this game goes to Halifax in the Final Four tournament. The national semifinals on TSN next Friday night from the Metro Center in Halifax. Maxwell puts it on the floor, and we get a whistle before the basket. We will take a break for just a moment. 4:58 to go in the first half from Lethbridge. 34-18, Victoria leads.
At Chrysler, we're using technology to bring out the best. Front-wheel drive technology in everything from sports cars to minivans. Turbo technology that makes this car more fuel efficient than a gas-guzzling V8. And performance technology that helps this $13,000 LeBaron GTS accelerate, corner, and brake better than a $29,000 BMW. The best in technology, backed for 5 years or 80,000 kilometers. At Chrysler, we just want to be the best.
You take the ball out. Keep it going defensively. And board, everybody rebound. Okay? And then push it when we get it. Push it when we get it.
Give him a minute. Stay behind that ball. You know it's coming.
Okay? Go all out now. 4:58 till the half. Let's go hard. 5 minutes. Concentration, 5 minutes. Every rebound. Okay, let's do it.
They've cut the second shots down. They haven't allowed quite as many second shots, but they still have not been able to stop the 3 guys up front for the University of Victoria, Jack. The forwards so far have done most of the scoring so far in the game.
There haven't been many second shots the way they went at it a few times there. The shooting percentage up front has got to be great for Victoria.
Sheehan has 8, Kalinovich has 6, Clemens has a dozen, Luke has 2. Those have been the scorers up front. In the backcourt, Scrub has 4. And Jerome L. hits the score sheet for the first time in the game from the free throw line.
You know, and that's one of the players that had to play well, had to just get in there and do a solid job for them.
Now, playing hard means full court pressure. Nice lead pass for Lukes. He's in traffic, but he throws it across to Clemens. Great pass. Second time in a row that Wade Lukes has done a job setting up plays.
Hey, I think I've seen this 4 times. But here it goes, right across the lane. That's a layup.
Out at the other end, Brett Maxwell hits the score sheet for the first time as well. Pasquale in traffic. Finally gets it over the floor. He gets called for the walk.
Ken Shields is furious. It's the play. All right. See, one of the things is if you're not going to call that little bump or that, then you can't call it when he stumbles. I mean, and that's what the coaches are upset about.
Maxwell off the rim. The rebound. Have we got a battle? It's Pasquale calls for the hold.
Fouls on Victoria's number 4, Vito Pasquale. His first personal.
Both teams now in a 1-on-1. After the 7th foul, 17th foul, you get into that 1-on-1 situation. You make the first, you get a second.
Gilborn missed. Another loose ball foul. Wade Lukes.
Push away under the basket.
His second personal.
We've got trouble with the clock. We've got both coaches after the officials.
We had this little problem on Friday night at one of the games as well, so we'll have to take a break for just a moment while the clock is reset. CIU National Basketball semifinals coming up from the Metro Center in Halifax. We'll have the two semifinals for you at 5 and 7:30 Eastern Time. Next Friday, March the 14th. Jack, you and I are looking forward to going to Halifax for the Final Four. And that should be a dandy. We want to congratulate Don McRae and the University of Waterloo Warriors, champions of the Mid-East Regional. They beat the University of Winnipeg by a point in Saturday's final game in that regional tournament. So for the umpteenth year in a row, the Warriors and Don McRae are on their way to Halifax.
Well, you knew that Don McRae, whose team stumbled, we saw him over Christmas having trouble. Don McRae is the old Warrior. He'd not take it. He patched that together. A couple injuries bothered him. He made some adjustments there. And I didn't know that Don McRae would be in the Final Four, but I knew Don McRae's team was going to come out of this in very, very good shape. And you're right. Congratulations, because he didn't have an easy road.
Of course, Randy Norris back in the lineup, the big 7-foot center. There's a big plus, and there's Jerome L. He's 3 for 3 from the line. He's only 3 points in the first half, but he's done a pretty good job defensively, and he's made some passes to set up baskets by teammates. Right now, they need the scoring from everybody they can get it from. 36-24, a 12-point ball game. We're down to 4:15 to go here in the first half from Lethbridge.
They've got to come up with a turnover, and they can't give up those easy baskets again. Can't go right in there.
Great pass that time. Randy Steele and Wade Lukes made it look easy.
Take a look at this play. See, they're so concerned. Everybody's thinking about Clemens, and sneaks in right behind and dumps it right into the basket.
Jerome L in traffic. Clemens managed to get a hand on it. Steele got the rebound. And Lethbridge really getting hurt by turnovers in the first half, Jack. Ken Shields up.
Shields, he doesn't want any of that contact. He wants them to call that because he's concerned about turnover.
Inside, Clemens had trouble handling it. And he got called for the walk. And the object of Ken Shields' displeasure is Peter Andros, one of the officials from Thunder Bay. And the two have had a battle through most of this tournament.
Well, Ken, it's a matter of philosophy if you want it. Ken Shields says, if we get flipped, I want that whistle blowing. And especially after a walk call on Pasquale after being bumped. He can't afford to let anybody touch those players.
Randy Steele missed. Tried to be fancy and missed the easy layup, although he was in traffic as Lethbridge had some people back to play defense.
I don't know if he had a choice on that, but it certainly looked as if he was working on it.
McMurray inside Farrell. Kicked out to Maxwell. Maxwell has 4.
Get it down. They're down. It's 12. They're trying to get it down under 10. That'll be their goal.
Sheehan back in for Victoria. Pasquale's got the basketball. Down at 2:35 to go in the first half. Inside, there's Clemens again.
Can't bring it down if that ball gets inside to Clemens and he's allowed to operate like that.
16 points for the big man. This time in traffic. Ross gets the rebound. The loose ball off the rim. It's controlled by Victoria. Another costly turnover. Steele. Clemens. No basket.
Ken Shields is furious. And here's
Unbelievable call. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely. Jerry, get in for Wade.
Here comes Jerry DeVokie for Wade Lukes.
We're going to find out what he's whispering in the referee's ear right now.
I'm not sure what he called.
He called a walk on the play.
Okay.
Ken Shields.
They got all the help they need.
McMurray. Maxwell. And a reaching in foul against Pasquale.
Now, Ken Shields' argument on this is, that's the calls I want when they do it to us. I don't think he's complaining so much about the call as he thinks that the same thing is happening up at his end and he's not getting. Got to be concerned. With this kind of a half, Ken Shields want to get out of here with a bundle of points. He's got himself, what do we have here? He's got himself 12 right now. He was hoping to have a lot more than that.
2:03 to go. I think Victoria's played a pretty good first half here, and certainly Mr. Clemens with 16 points has been a major factor.
They certainly have.
He had 22 in the first game on Friday night against St. Francis Xavier, and a dozen rebounds as well. And he has not slowed down one little bit. Here's Pasquale. The scrub. Sheehan. Now what have we got? David Ross on the foul.
3, 2. He pushed. We got a bonus. Come on in.
And here comes fresh troops. Darren Boris back into the ball game for the Lethbridge Pronghorns. Ross comes out. Ross with just 2 points so far in the first half. We talked about him at the top of the telecast and suggested that he had to be a factor for Lethbridge to be in this game. They're down by 12 and he's got 2 points.
That's right.
And I think you got another one right.
Yeah, that one I think was called. I think the thing we had to worry about, we've got a jump ball. Both teams went in too quickly, and the jump ball is going to go to Lethbridge. So the next one will go to Victoria now. Both players moved into the lane before the foul shot, and therefore jump ball.
Scrub steals another one. Sean Gilborn steals it back. McMurray. Jerome L. Turnaround jump shot.
Still got that 12 points.
Down to 10 now, 40 to 30, Jack, with a minute 15 to go here in the first half. Clemens in a little trouble, gets it over midcourt to Pasquale. Out to Scrub.
These guys have done a great job. Steele, Pasquale, Scrub. We said how important they were going to be.
Pasquale off the rim. Great rebound, DeVoki. Jerry DeVoki. Maxwell almost turned it over. Jerome L.
Whoa, Jerome L is a player we've seen play closer to the basket, just sticks there and steps it from about 17 feet.
L with 8 points in the half. Under 30 seconds to go. The cry goes up. Defense, defense. Scrub looks inside. DeVoki is fouled.
Goal. 10 goal, illegal use of hands. Shoot a bonus.
Maxwell is the man called. Here comes Dave Ross back in.
Number 10, Brent Maxwell. That's his third personal.
And Jerome L. will take a breather. And now Dave Raz as well. A 6'7" second-year art student from Milk River, Alberta. Number 44 into the ball game. His first appearance on the floor.
The bookie on the foul line for the Vikings.
Stepped in a little early, so no shot. It'll be Victoria ball. It'll be, I beg your pardon, Lethbridge basketball now. 19 seconds to go, 43 to 32. An 11-point advantage for the Victoria Vikings. Full court pressure now by the defending champions. Here is Gilborn setting it up for Ken McMurray.
Right guy's got it. McMurray's got it.
Playing for one shot as the seconds tick down. McMurray tries it. Off the rim. The rebound controlled by Sheehan. Out of bounds with 1 second left.
They've got second or close to 2 seconds. It's a possibility that they've got 1.99999. Let's see.
Sheehan inbound. Scrub.
Can't even get the shot.
and the first half ends. And I would think that Victoria would be very happy with a 43-32 lead at the half.
Well, I disagree, Peter. I think they've got to be concerned about the way the half ended. The half ended with the game being playing even at least, and maybe even a little advantage to Lethbridge. I'll argue with that with you on the second half.
All right, Jack, 43-32 is the score. No argument about that. Victoria leads by 11. Halftime from Lethbridge coming up after this. Welcome back to the Sportsplex, actually, in Lethbridge, Alberta. We're at halftime in the Far West Championship game, 43-32. Very satisfying performance by the Victoria Vikings. And, of course, one of their key players at all times is Randy Steele, veteran 5-year player, who joins me now to talk a little bit about the first half. I would think that Ken Shields and you people would be pretty happy with that, although perhaps the lead could have been a little bit bigger, but for some breakdowns in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, we let down a little bit in the second part of the second half, but I think we're just a little tired maybe, I don't know. But
Randy, does this game follow the pattern of the first two games between these two schools this year?
Pretty well. They're all been pretty tough. They're a tough team, and they come out really good defensive team, and they put a lot of pressure on the ball, and it makes it really difficult, especially in the second half. It'll start to...
I think the intensity level of the Victoria team in this game is higher than I've seen it in a while. Let's talk a little bit about what the team went through after losing to Saskatchewan 2 weeks ago and having a couple of weeks to get ready for this tournament.
Yeah, we practiced really hard the first week after we lost to Saskatchewan. Probably the toughest we've had all year, and it's paying off now because we're really in shape. We had a lot of injuries against Saskatchewan, and pretty well everybody's healthy right now.
Is the pattern this year similar to last, where you struggled a bit towards the end of the season and then got hot when the playoffs and the regionals came along?
It's pretty well the exact same pattern. We seem to come out for the big games, and hopefully next couple of games will be all right. Hopefully we'll get by this one and go to the Nationals, but still got to get by this one first. So.
Do you feel like this team is playing with a little more intensity than it's shown in the last 3 weeks or so?
Yeah, much more. In the dressing room before the game, everybody was really high, and didn't take much to get them going. More so than the other couple of games we played in, because it's do or die now. It's sudden death, and I think everybody realizes it.
What did you feel the key was to playing against the University of Lethbridge?
Get the ball inside and pressure their outside shots, because they're outside oriented, and Ken said to get right on the shooters like McMurray and Al, and we've done that so far. Hopefully we'll keep it up in the second half.
Well, you have done it defensively. You've done the job offensively too, because the forwards have done a great job. Clemens with 16 in the first half. That's a big bonus when the big man plays that well.
Yeah, if he's playing well, he's an easy target in there too. He's so big, but we're working the ball around really well. It's the best we have, I think, this year. So it's starting to pay off right now.
Starting to pay off. It's coming at a good time. Thanks for being with us, Randy Steele. Okay, Randy, good to see you. Thank you for your time. Randy Steele of the Victoria Vikings, his team leaders on the scoreboard. We're at the half from Lethbridge, Alberta. More basketball coming your way in just a moment. Welcome back to the Sportsplex in Lethbridge, Alberta, the Far West Regional Final, and we have Victoria leading Lethbridge 43-32 here at the half. And this, of course, is one of 4 basketball tournaments taking place across Canada this weekend. We'd like to review what scores we have and some highlights for you from play in the other championship finals. We begin in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, where the Acadia Axemen are the home court team, and they are into the final, of course, against the University of Western Ontario. In the consolation final, the Prince Edward Island Panthers beat York 73-60. Prince Edward Island ranked number 6 in the country, but they were upset in the regional semifinal. And in the final game, with 3 minutes to go, the Mustangs clinging to a 61-54 lead. So if that holds up, Western will be a surprise participant, I think, in the Final Four tournament in Halifax next week. But again, 3 minutes to go in that one. Now, in the Ontario Regional, the consolation final went to the McGill Redmen from Montreal, ranked number 7, against Calgary, 85-78, the final score in that game. But the big story is the Waterloo Warriors, coached by Don McRae, with Randy Norris healthy and back in the lineup. They were winners in an exciting finish over the University of Winnipeg. And we've got some highlights to show you from Waterloo, Ontario.
The Westmen came out and carried the play in the early going here. It scored Tucker with the baseline jumper. Winnipeg led it by 2. Then it's Tucker again. This time he drives and draws the foul from Tom Schneider. The Westmen had their biggest lead at 5 points. But Waterloo rallied with some strong outside shooting. This Peter Savage jumper gave the Warriors their first lead at 18-17. Waterloo then opened up a 9-point lead at the half here. Rob Fries goes up in traffic for the bucket and a 38-29 halftime lead. It was a seesaw second half. The Westmen rallied to take the lead, but Freese hit this jumper, and the game was tied at 58. Then came the thrilling finish. Paul Boyce hits the jump hook. Waterloo drew to within one at 62-61. How's this for pressure? Freese stepped up and sank 2 free throws with 3 seconds left to put the Warriors in front, 63-62. Winnipeg had one last chance to pull the game out, but they came up short. Waterloo takes the East Regional with a 63-62 win.
Meanwhile, the Great Plains Regional at Saskatoon. Brian Heaney's team has salvaged a respectable finish out of a dismal season. 79-76 the final for varsity over the Dalhousie Tigers, coached by Doc Ryan. And a 3-point victory for Toronto means they finished third in the Great Plains Regional. They nearly upset number 1 ranked Manitoba on Friday night. The other game, the final, the host team, the Huskies, against number 1 ranked Manitoba, just underway at Saskatoon. We might have a score from that game a little bit later on. And here in Lethbridge, it is 43-32 for the Victoria Vikings at halftime of the Far West final. And Jack Donahue and his telestrator standing by with first half highlights when we come back after this. We're at halftime in the Far West Regional Final from the Sportsplex in Lethbridge. The Victoria Vikings lead the Lethbridge Pronghorns 43-32. Jack Donahue standing by to do a little clinic in basketball here. And the stars of the show, a couple of veterans, Gord Clemens and David Sheehan from the University of Victoria. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, the first half was all Victoria. That's the situation that we ran into. And what we've got to do right now is keep an eye on a few people. We're going to have a shot by Lethbridge. We've got one man right here. Lloyd Scruggs here. Let's hold it. Let's hold that right here. Let's watch Clemens down in here, and let's watch Polinovich right there. Let's move it a little bit ahead. As that shot goes up, those are the 4 people. Here's our rebound. Let's hold it now. Rebounder here, good position, but I want you to see where Cord Clemens is. This young gentleman is right down under the basket. Let's see what happens when they get the ball out. We roll it ahead a little bit. Great pitch out. Pitch out up here to Lloyd Scruggs. He's got to beat a guy. He flips it up. Hold it right there. He's got this man he's got to beat. He's got to come by this man. But the guy I want you to watch, because he doesn't come up with a basket in this, is big Cord Clemens. Watch how he gets all the way down the court. But look at this. Pumps. Doesn't even get involved in those 2 guys. Lays it up. Cord Clemens is right under the basket. So Clemens really is running the court and playing a tremendous basketball game, especially in his first half.
And this is 7 feet, 255 pounds.
That's right. He went from one end of the court right to the other. Now, there's not much in there we can say about Lethbridge, unfortunately. Lethbridge has come back in the game, but it's been really more of a problem with the problems that Victoria's been going. Let's get a good look at this. Here's the ball come in. Let's move the ball ahead again. Here's Victoria with the ball. Let's bring it up the court. He's got to beat this guy now. Beats his man, brings it up, gets it into the front. Pasquale's got the ball. This is the bumping that Coach Shields has been yelling about. But let's see how that ball's going to move against the pressure that Lethbridge has got to put on him. Scrub bounces out of there. Hold it right there. There's the pass out. And here's where we started with our big man. He's out in the corner. Let's see where he ends up. Ball moves ahead again. Ball is going to come back out again. It's going to be brought over to this side of the court. Let's watch it. And again, hold it right there. We see Clemens setting up inside. His man is in front of him. He's between the ball and Clemens, but as the ball moves, he's not going to be able to maintain that. Let's move it ahead a little bit more. Scrub gets everybody ready, brings everybody to this side, swings it all the way across. Hold it right there, and look at the position that big man, Cord Clemens, got, and the result is very, very simple. Good pass. Great position by Clemens. The ball's in the basket. And I guess Ken Shields has got to be happy with 11, but he would like to see a lot more points up there.
All right, Jack. Well, maybe we can say something more positive about the Lethbridge Pronghorns when we come back for the second half. It is 43-32. Victoria in the lead. 20 minutes of basketball still to play from the Sportsplex in Lethbridge. From the Lethbridge Sportsplex, the Far West Regional, the Victoria Vikings trying to get back to the national championship for the 7th year in a row. They have won it the last 6 times, and they have done a job from the field in the first half, principally from the play of their 4 or 5 forwards who've been in the ball game. 17 for 28 from the field, 13 for 30 for Lethbridge, and the defensive people for Victoria have really shut down the Pronghorn attack. 8 points for Jerome Mell to lead all scorers for Lethbridge. And a good look at this very large crowd, over 3,500 in the Sportsplex. It is not quite full, but it is certainly a very good turnout for a basketball game in southern Alberta. And we have remarked at some length about the fact that this is good basketball country. The high school regional finals will be in this building next week, and there'll be some more good basketball played by the athletes from southern and central Alberta. Clemens misses on his first try from the field in the second half. He had 16 points in the first 20 minutes of play at Cord Clemens. Inside now to Ross. It comes back out to Maxwell. Lethbridge on offense. Steele nearly stole it. Scrubs nearly stole it. Maxwell looks, sets it up for McMurray. And there's a great rebound by the veteran David Sheehan. Randy Steele. And Lloyd Scrub in the backcourt. And Scrub tried and missed. One of the things that Jack talked about on Friday night in the game was how much Ken Shields wanted to see that ball go inside before anything else was tried. And certainly he would not be pleased with a low percentage shot like that last one.
He's not now, boy. Got up and gave a wave, and it wasn't about officials this time. He's just yelling at the... He's just yelling at the play. The shot was very important how they start now. Neither team has grabbed it.
Maxwell and Randy Steele stole it. And it'll be Lethbridge ball coming inbounds. There's the veteran 5-year player finishing up his eligibility this year. Randy Steele from Campbell River, British Columbia. One of several players off the island to make it with the Victoria Vikings. Maxwell. Clemens knocked it out of bounds. It'll be Lethbridge ball.
Good call. Clemens reached over and whacked it out of bounds. Very important now. Who's going to establish themselves in this half? Neither team seems to have anything going for them yet.
McMurray inside. Back out to McMurray. Maxwell. Steele called for the foul.
Here's the reach. Here he is. Gets in there. He looks at the referees and say, who, me? Right out loud. He's got his hand caught in a cookie jar.
Maxwell to the corner. L. Off the rim. Kalinovich controls. Great job by Sean Kalinovich, who got a chance to start tonight in place of Jamie Newman and has really responded well for Victoria. Sheehan. Well, he's got 10 in the game.
Leave it to the old pro to establish it. Let's see now if Lethbridge can come back. They've got to come back to stay in this now. They've got to establish the fact that they can at least trade baskets for a while and not let it get out of hand. And then start chipping away at that 10, 12-point lead.
Another good play by Cord Clemens working against Ryan Heggie. Clemens deflecting the ball out of bounds. When the big man plays like he can, Jack, the Victoria Vikings are about 300% stronger than they are when he's just kind of loafing out there.
Very tough play he just made then.
And this time, Heggie made the basket. Heggie has 8 in the ball game. We have a 45-34 game, 11-point advantage for the University of Victoria. Just over 2.5 minutes gone.
Half-court trap, looks like, by Lethbridge. They're going to try and shake him up a bit. No, now they've gone back into a 3-2 zone.
Steele.
So concerned.
Here comes Heggie. And that time Sheehan got the rebound. Good job by Clemens to stand in the middle there and not take a foul.
That's right. Good job. The man went right at him. Heggie went right at him.
Oh, what a play. Sheehan missed, and Clemens scored. Really going aggressively to the basket now. Here comes Ross. And a player control foul.
We've got a foul down the other end, and as you can see.
As you looked at that replay, the ball went the other way, and Ross was called on the player control foul. Second personal on David Ross.
Here they come up the other end again now. They've got themselves a few points. They've got to try and...
Sheehan. Steele. Cross to Kalinovich. He's got 8.
Here it goes now. See, now they're spreading it out. This is what Lethbridge has got to be very concerned about. Get back in the game quickly.
Hagee, nice move. Clemens knocked it away. Sheehan got the loose ball, and Lloyd Scrub gets started once again. Jack, I am really impressed with the way Victoria is playing defense here. This is not a case of an erratic Lethbridge offense. This is a case of Victoria not making very many mistakes right now.
No, they're not. They really come at it hard. Let's see.
McMurray throws it away. We will take a break for just a moment. 15:50 to go here in the second half from Lethbridge. 51-34, Victoria leads.
Sunday on the Sports Network. Live at noon from Southern California, it's the 1986 LA Marathon. 2:30, we continue our Soccer Super Cup Series with semifinal number 2, Tottenham playing Everton. 7:30, there's great U.S. college basketball with a Big 8 final. That's all on TSN, where the Whalers are in Montreal to play the Canadians Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern as our great NHL coverage continues.
Right over here now, Peter, here we go. There's Ruth Tolstrup, Tim Tolstrup, and Phil Tolstrup. I mean, those two gentlemen, they were a dynasty here. They're 2 of the 3 All-Canadians from Lethbridge. They're 2 of the 3 players who played on our national team. Phil was the captain of the 1976. Phil in red was the captain of the 1976 Olympic team. He's a high school coach. His older brother, Tim, who had a back injury, is now the coach at Lethbridge Junior College.
And, of course, Phil still coaching in the high school in the southern Alberta area. The other All-Canadian who was honored at the banquet on Thursday night was Perry Merkovich. And meantime, the gentleman of the moment are the Lethbridge Pronghorns. Ken Olenek trying to get his team going here, 51-34. It was an 11-point disadvantage at the half, and it's now 17 points. And Ken Olenek has to be concerned, Jack, about the fact that his team simply cannot cut into this Victoria lead.
It certainly has to be, and it's. I'm sure that there was a little knee scraping in both locker rooms, but Ken Shields got in there and told him this has got to stop, this sloppiness. We've got to come back with the intensity that we started this game with.
Move the ball is the call. Inside, Clemens. Call to the walk, I think. 3-second violation. All right. So it's Lethbridge basketball now. We've got 15 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the second half. Again, the importance of this game, the winner goes to the Final Four tournament in Halifax next week. Hagee throws it outside. Steele.
Look at Steele.
Really did a job, and now Pasquale, or rather Sheehan, is loose, and Sheehan has got a dozen. Great play by Randy Steele to get it started, and Lloyd Scrub made the good pass to send Sheehan away. Nothing. Lethbridge seems to try, seems to work. Off the rim, there's Clemens once again for another rebound. Here comes Lloyd Scrub. Sheehan's loose, looking for the ball. Scrub says, this is my turn. Scrub with 6. Ferocious intensity level from Victoria now, and Ken Shields keeps jumping up and down and turning up the crank a little bit higher.
As always, he's encouraging so every time to get back on defense. Doesn't want them to stay down there and cheer about the basket they just got. He wants to get back and stop them from getting knees.
This time, Hagee.
Good job. They really look at the expression on Ken Shields. He tells you the story.
Lloyd. Come on, Lloyd, take it. Take it, Lloyd. Get it over.
Clemens sets it up for Lloyd Scrub now. Randy Steele into the corner. Kalinovich looks and comes back outside. Sheehan. What a job this young man has done. 14 points so far. Here comes a great move by McMurray, but it's a little too fancy, and we get a foul. Hagee is called for that foul. Timeout called by Ken Olenek.
He's got to call a timeout. I think Mr. and Mrs. Olenek back in Revelstoke, BC could have called that timeout. It's got to happen.
Go for Hagee.
13 minutes and 42 seconds. left to go in the second half. 57-36, a 21-point lead for the University of Victoria.
It's crazy, viewer. TV Guide's Crazy 8's Hot Numbers contest. Each TV Guide has a different number. See? Your number's picked, you can win. Crazy 8s. 8 snazzy Renault Alliances, 1 a week. 8 40-inch TVs with VCRs, 1 a week. And a special bonus week draw for 8 trips for 2 to Nassau. Crazy. Crazy 8s. TV Guide's Great Hot Numbers contest continues right on the cover of the magazine of TV and video that you trust. TV Guide. It improves the view.
The 1986 Silver Broom gets underway on March the 31st from the CNE Coliseum in Toronto. Still looking to determine the Canadian representative. It might be Eddie Lukowicz of Alberta. It might be Russ Howard of Ontario. Those two men to meet Sunday in the Brier Final in Kitchener. And meantime, here at the Sportsplex in Lethbridge, you're looking at Ken Shields in the Victoria bench.
Who's free, hook to the middle, and come to meet the ball. No foul. Come on, guys. Pull up, guys. Come on.
That's what he's interested in.
Keep working.
Ken Shields again telling him about the press. He's got to beat the press. The man who is not guarded, whenever they double up, that means somebody's free. Man who's not guarded, hook to the middle. Come back to the middle, come back to the ball, and then the last thing he said is no foul.
I think the other thing he probably said in that huddle is get back on defense, because he's been hollering that most of the second half.
Doesn't need a timeout for that. He's got them screaming at every play.
He just needs a megaphone.
Right. Here we go. Little scrambling defense, running at them 3-2. 3-2 zone, a lot of pressure on the ball on the outside. It leaves them a little bit of trouble underneath. But with the big guy Clemens out of there, they may be able to get away with it a bit.
This foul against Lethbridge as Sheehan went up and got the ball and came down on top of Brent Maxwell.
There's not anybody in this gym that believes this except Victoria. They're after him. Ken Olenek is up and the fans are excited. And yet it looked like a pretty good call.
That's a problem for Ken Olenek. Maxwell now with 4 fouls, and he's a starting guard. And the man who runs the offense, and the man who takes some of the pressure off Tim McMurray, who has really been held in check by this Victoria defense. Randy Steele can't get it to fall. Here comes McMurray. McMurray so far in the game with just 6 points. He had 23 against Concordia in the victory on Friday night, and he has been a big shooter for Lethbridge throughout this season.
Can't afford to have a game with him with 6 points.
Maxwell looks. Maxwell fires. Maxwell is fouled. Kalinovich. Here comes Wade Lukes. Here comes Vito Pasquale.
Both of these teams have a lot of players, but there are key players. And I don't think that Lethbridge can afford to have, as you said, a 6-point output from Mr. McMurray. He's got to be getting that ball a lot more, and he's got to hit it a lot more. But I tell you, Victoria, you called it early. Victoria's not given many opportunities. Sure that Lethbridge is doing anything that much wrong.
Funny how a couple of good teams that have struggled a bit since January, Jack, all of a sudden get hot at the right time. The Waterloo Warriors and Don McRae and the Victoria Vikings. They've been to the Nationals before, and when you get to this point, you can smell it.
That's right. And this is the best time for your team to put everything together. The rest of it, it'd be nice if you could do it all year round. But if it's got to come together at a particular time, you think of no better time than the middle of March.
Jerome is fouled. Lukes is called. Lukes over for a quick word with Ken Shields. And Jerome L, who pretty much leads the Lethbridge scoring. It is spread out, but nobody's got very many. L now has 9.
See, theoretically, with a game to change, with a tempo to change in the favor of Lethbridge, they have plenty of time. We've got 12 minutes left to play, especially if they shoot a lot of fouls. But they've got to get control. Right now, they ended up there just about trading with Victoria, and they're not going to pick up things. They've got to peck away, a basket at a time.
59-30 is the score. 59-40, I beg your pardon. Score clock is wrong. 19-point game. It was 11 at the half. Lutz now looks outside to Pasquale. Inside, the veteran Newman. And the ball is knocked loose. And Sheehan got the loose ball in the free and the basket. They've catched a lot of opportunities, Jack, but Victoria has created a lot of opportunities in this game by the way they played defense.
Certainly have. And
Maxwell.
Whoa.
He's got 10, and that leads all scorers for Lethbridge.
But he's also got his 4 fouls, hasn't he? And
yes, he does.
Got to be another consideration.
A lot of pressure now. Newman inside there. Foul. Clear control foul.
Clemens back. Here's, take a look at this. Here it is. He's in. Well, I tell you what, he did get his feet planted. You'd have to see the angle, but it looked as if it was a good call. Here it is. Here's it. Yeah, I guess he did. He was up in the air. It really looks bad because the offensive player is the one that goes on his ear, but it's the right call down at that end. He had his feet planted and had a good angle on the ball.
Clemens back in the ball game as Luke takes a seat on the bench. Clemens a major factor in this game. He had 16 in the first half. He's only got 2 in the second, but there's the big guy playing defense again. And on the turnover, Lloyd Scrubs comes back now for Victoria. Pasquale to Newman. Back outside. Sheehan. Inside. There's Clements. And a walking call. It'll be Lethbridge ball. Minutes, 35 seconds to go. Pasquale can't play defense. Maxwell gets 2 more. Pretty aggressive play by a guy with 4 fouls, but a good job by Brent Maxwell. Part of a pretty good sports family. His brother Brian played in the NHL for a number of years, and he's got another brother playing junior hockey. Good athletic family, the Maxwell clan from Lethbridge.
Well, he's got to play aggressively because the game could be lost right here. If they get out of hand right here, the game could be lost. Maxwell's got to go out at 100% right now.
4, 2, he pushed.
That foul is on Darren Boris of Lethbridge, I beg your pardon. First foul, 61-44. Inbounds to Newman. To Sheehan. Clemens boxed out. Sheehan got the loose ball. Sheehan. There's Newman hustling after it. Finally, McMurray controls for Lethbridge.
That ball gets batted away. I bet on Sheehan getting his hands on it, but if he doesn't get his hands on it, those Lethbridge kids are so hungry.
Outside, Maxwell. He's been the hot man. Gilborn looks inside. Gilborn can't get the loose ball. It'll be a jump ball. We'll take a break for just a moment. 9:26 to go in the second half. 61-44. Victoria leads the Pronghorns of Lethbridge.
Working hard on the 32. Offensively, good job. Patience, keep it going. It's there. It'll be there, all right? We come back 1 possession at a time. 1 possession at a time. We score when it's our ball, and we stop them. Got it? We got to talk and work.
That's what it's got to be. I mean, it's This is not intermediate algebra or calculus. This is basic arithmetic. We've got to score when we get the ball. We've got to stop them when they get the ball. The ball, jump ball, the official called a jump ball. Because of the alternating jump ball situation, the ball will go to Lethbridge. The next jump ball situation will go to Victoria.
Jerome L. inbounds to Maxwell, to Gilborn. Inside, Boris is fouled. Pasquale reached in. Our statistician Dave Wells hands me a note. Ken McMurray 3 for 12 from the field, and that pretty much explains why Lethbridge is 17 down to the University of Victoria now with 9:19 to play. Randy Steele ready to come into the game, didn't quite get to the timer's bench in time. He will have to wait for the next stoppage. Gilborn. Gilborn has 4 off the bench. Gilborn playing defense against Lloyd Scrubb.
Got those 3 little men in. They're going to pressure right around. You can see the 3 of them out there. It's going to be some type of a 1-2-2 or 3-2 press with a lot of pressure on them. They've got to protect themselves.
What a job there. Newman into Sheehan. Clemens created the screen, and Sheehan now has got 18 points in the ball game.
I think that Sheehan made that play. Peter, I think that they tried to dump it into Clemens. He turned his back on the play. But no matter whether it was planned or not, they got themselves 2 points, and they got him right up in close.
Maxwell in traffic. Tried to throw it up and in, and Sheehan got the loose ball. And here's Lloyd Scrubb. Clemens. Clemens.
Great hustle.
Great play.
Clemens right back on top of it. Misses his jumper, which maybe Ken Shields didn't want him to take. Then comes and gets the ball right back and sticks it in.
Maxwell is tripped up by Lloyd Scrubb.
Here we are. Here he goes. Let's watch Scrubb. Here comes Scrubb into the play. And, well, it could have been Scrubb or Sheehan, but the call was on Scrubb.
You know, Jack, something from that last time out that Ken Olenek alluded to. He said, go down, every possession we get a basket. Every possession they get, we stop them. Lethbridge has been burned very, very badly on turnovers in this game, far more so than Victoria has. And yet the turnovers, I think, are about even in the game. But every time Lethbridge has turned the ball over, they have really paid for it.
Well, the reason is because they know to get into this game, they're going to lose some rebounds. You'd like not to have any second shots, but with the size advantage of Victoria, there are going to be some second shots. There don't have to be any turnovers. That's their game. They're the ones that cause turnovers, not get involved in them. And you're right, it hurts a lot more. It hurts a lot more when Lethbridge makes a turnover, because their game is to cause turnovers, not to come up with them themselves.
8 for Maxwell in the half, 14 in the ball game so far. He leads Lethbridge. And this time, the Pronghorns steal and get the control of the ball. Jerome L. sets it up for Ken McMurray. McMurray with 6 points in the first half. He has nothing at all so far in the second period.
I'm glad to see him shoot it. He can't be hesitant.
Scrubb hustles after the loose ball. Lethbridge controls instead. Maxwell. This time L got to it. And Clemens stole. Quick pass break to Randy Steele. McMurray knocks it away from him. McMurray called for the foul. At least 30 referees
right under the
east end of the gym didn't like the call.
Well, I can believe it. Listen, look at this. Talking about hot dogs. How about that? How are you, Peter?
I'll have mustard and relish. It's been a long time since breakfast.
Is that right? I'll tell you, that down that other end down there, I can't believe it. That must be a TSN producers convention down under that basket.
Clemens missed, dropped right to the rebound, got called for the foul. An update from Saskatoon. The game tied at 41. The Great Plains Regional. The Huskies ranked number 12 coming into the regional tournaments. The Manitoba Bisons ranked number 1 in Canada. And it's 41 apiece at the half in Saskatoon.
Here they go. Look at this.
You know either one of those kids Donnie Hughes?
My wife, I don't know why she let those kids out tonight. There we go. This young man that came out of nowhere, Peter. stand on the foul line right now. I mean, he's not somebody that we expected to see an awful lot of in this game.
His name is Darren Boros. He's a first-year art student from Coaldale, Alberta. And he's 1 for 2 from the line. He has 3 points in the game. He's only averaged 2, but he's the kind of player at 6'7" that Ken Olynyk can build a program around next year when he loses 4 of his starters. And a foul called against L.
Lose L very quickly on a couple more plays like that.
Dave Ross checks in for Lethbridge. Ken Olynyk walking up and down in front of his bench, shaking his head, wondering what kind of strategy he can come up with to cut into this gap.
Well, he's running out of time. You know, he's still got himself in a 16-point game, and the clock is down to about 6.67 minutes, which is still a possibility. Keep in terms, as long as the minutes and the baskets you need are pretty close, you can win the ball game, but not the way they have been. Clemens took that ball. Not if Clemens going to do that when you drive to the basket. Gonna have trouble getting back in the game.
That was a base hit right from left field, that one.
Looked like 2 Victoria fans right there.
On the turnover, Scrub gets control. Newman inside, this time Lethbridge. Gilborn knocked it away from Clemens. We'll take a break for just a moment. 6:24 to go in the second half. 65-49, a 16-point lead for Victoria.
The essence of racing. Dave Thomas. You know the wind. If you read it right, you're flying. It's a feeling that grabs you and tells you you've got it won. The essence of shaving. This is a Gillette Track 2. 2 blades on a balanced handle. 1 stroke sets Track 2 apart from any other shave. It's a feeling you only get from Gillette.
Track 2 from Gillette. The essence of shaving.
The CIU volleyball finals coming up on the Sports Network from Moncton, New Brunswick on Saturday, March the 15th. Steve Cooney and Vic Lindell will be with you at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock in Moncton, for the National Volleyball Championships. 8 schools represented each in the men's and women's competition. They will start play on Thursday, and the finals will be on the Sports Network on the 15th of March. And meanwhile, in Lethbridge, let's talk about the Lethbridge Pronghorns. And let's talk about a big crowd on hand in the Sportsplex.
We got it. We got time. We got time, all right? Let's do it. Come on. Let's go hard.
We just got an attendance figure. 3,865 have crowded into the Sportsplex in Lethbridge. An outstanding crowd for a college basketball game in Canada. And they are whooping it up and making some noise. But right now, they have not had a lot to cheer about. They're Pronghorns on the short end of a 65-49 score with 6 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the second period.
Well, you know, we're getting such great play out of the big guys for Victoria. But what we talked about earlier, there's 2 of those young men out there right now. And that's Steele and Scrub, who said they could not get involved in a turnover situation. And they haven't. And that's really made the game a lot steadier for the Victoria team.
Gilborn.
Mr. Ross, that we talked about earlier, hasn't come through the way Ken Olynyk would like him. Got hit with some fouls earlier, some bad luck, but they've got to get something coming very, very quickly right now.
That is Ken McMurray's first basket of the second half. Randy Steele, Kalinovich waits and scores. Kalinovich with 10. Victoria hustles back to play defense. 67-51 is the score. Somehow Lethbridge must make up a 16-point deficit in the last 5 minutes and 20 seconds. McMurray. Clemens with the rebound. Big pass out to Lloyd Scrub. And Randy Steele slows it back down outside. Kalinovich. Threw up an air ball. Here comes
Kalinovich is going to be out of the game very quickly. That's not the shot. That might be the one that Lethbridge needs, but that's not the shot that Ken Shields wants from Victoria.
Ross is fouled.
Come here. Come here.
Ken Shields.
No. You've got to be more alert, Randy. Stay sideways. The last time McMurray got the goddamn shot over there because you're playing with your back to him. Now you're reaching in. Come on now.
Well, that's it.
Doesn't need too much interpretation either.
No, I'll tell you what. It's one thing. Well, basketball coaches, although they're very, very intelligent, still speak very basic English.
Ken Shields closing in on 400 career victories in CIU basketball. The only other man that I know of who's at that level is Doug Daigneault from Concordia. He got his 400th career win in January. A very enviable record. Outlet pass. Here comes Maxwell for Lethbridge. And they throw it away. It'll be Victoria basketball. Vikings have lost a little bit of intensity level in the last couple of minutes, but unfortunately Lethbridge simply has not been able to take advantage.
They can't get started now. Now they're playing against the clock. See, there's not a game now. Victoria is playing against the clock, and Lethbridge is unfortunately playing against the clock.
So there's actually 2 or 3 games going on out here. 2 teams playing each other. They're also playing the score clock. Right now, Victoria very much in the driver's seat. Randy Steele finds a little laneway, but they turn the ball over once again. McMurray throws it to the corner. Maxwell. Steele called for the foul. Took an elbow in the jaw, but it was his foul. Maxwell to the line. Here comes Pasquale.
Well, Ken Shields got the option and the luxury of being able to rotate the 3 that we've mentioned earlier, but certainly he's got 2 or 3 other guards on that sideline that he could put in there, and the level of quality is not going to drop so that you notice it.
Clemens knocked the ball into the hands of a Lethbridge player. Haggie's got a dozen. 3:50 to go in regulation time. 67-53 to score. Victoria trying for a berth in the Nationals. They've won it the last 6 years in a row. Scrub in traffic gets it over to Pasquale in the corner to Sheehan.
Sheehan gets down now. You know, you get Sheehan underneath 5 minutes. Take a look at this guy, Sheehan. You get him under 5 minutes, and that guy just smells the game.
20 points for Dave Sheehan. Ross now tries his luck. Kalinovic got the rebound. Pasquale in the corner. Kalinovic is checked. Dave Ross got the ball. Here comes Maxwell. Ross throws it up. Now, will the basket count? And we've got a technical foul called against Maxwell as well.
That's right. Let's take a look at the play. Here's the play. Well, it does. Come in there and he drills right through. Takes Mr. Stubb right out of it.
That'll be 5.
Right. Whoa. But not only that, they've got the foul. I guess number 10 has fouled out. All right, Brent Maxwell's fouled out. We've got a 1-on-1, and then we've got a technical after that. A lot of points. And it's not anything that Ken Olynyk needs at this particular point.
Frank Cicchetti in the screen. He made that last call. Brent Maxwell is finished for the game. It is his 5th foul. So there will be a brief break in the action here while Ken Olynyk decides who's coming in to play on the floor in Maxwell's spot. Again, 3:05 to go in regulation time. The Victoria Vikings in command in this game, 69-53. They led it by 11 at the half. As you look at Brent Maxwell, who fouls out with 14 points, and he was a bit of a spark plug for the Lethbridge Pronghorns in the second half. He had 6 in the first half, and he scored 8 points in the second half, but it may not be enough.
All right, Lloyd Scruggs shot a 1-on-1. He missed the 1-on-1. Now we have Eli Pasquale is going to shoot the technical foul. Anyone can shoot the technical foul. Eli Pasquale is the one they've chosen. Nope. What'd I say? Eli or Vito?
Yeah, Eli hasn't played for a couple of years, Jack.
Well, he's played. Well, don't say that Eli hasn't played. He hasn't played with Victoria. But what happens now is Vito Pasquale is going to be allowed to shoot the technical foul. The reason no one lines up is because Victoria is then going to take the ball out at half court. A very, very dangerous, pardon me, a very, very painful situation. Guy fouls out, and they get the foul shots. And what they're trying to do now is calm down some of those very exuberant fans underneath the basket. Didn't bother Vito or Eli. Should change his name to Eli. It would make it a lot easier for me.
Only 4 points for Vito Pasquale in the game, but he is a key performer for Victoria. Another part of that insurance that Ken Shields has on his bench. Somebody gets in trouble, in this case Randy Steele, he can put Pasquale in the game. And the veteran from Lockerbie High School in Sudbury, Ontario, can do a job. He's been here before and he knows how to play in this kind of competition. There's the big man, and he draws the foul and goes to the line. 22 points for Cord Clemens.
But it just devastating. Here we come. Here come the shock troops now. A couple of guys going to get some playing time in. Enough maturity out there to make sure that they will not let this game slip and get too sloppy.
Little smaller lineup. Kalinovic comes out. Rob Creaky goes into the ball game. David Sheehan on the sidelines. Pasquale's coming out. And the other people into the ball game as well. Graham Taylor, number 12. And the rookie, Jeff McKay, number 15. Great young talent from Penticton High School. A highly recruited player, and Ken Shields got him. And McKay has a bright future at the University of Victoria.
McKay played on the junior national team last year, and as we know, Graham Taylor has been a real help to this team over a period of time. Graham's dad used to be the head coach at the University of Victoria.
Small lineup on the floor. Clemens at 7 feet, and just about everybody else is guard size. And that means probably a lot of pressure on the ball defensively for Victoria. 73 to 55, an 18-point game, Victoria. McKay can't find anybody to pass it to. He throws it in from well out.
Didn't know what to do, so he shot it. Huh?
When in doubt, shoot.
That's right. It's a good idea.
Foul. Travel call is the ruling against Ryan Heggie. And here comes Jerry DeMucci now as Cord Clemens will come out. 23 points in the game for the big man, and he has done a job defensively as well.
He's not getting much of a, well, he's getting a hand from some of the people in the stands, but I'll tell you, he's getting the hand that you need from that bench. They know what he's done. And here are the guys that have given him the opportunity. Scrub, bringing that ball up.
Playing time for a lot of the youngsters now, and a lot of the people that don't get a chance to play a lot. McKay in traffic in the corner, and he draws a foul.
These are players that Ken Shields may have to use in the playoffs in Halifax, and perhaps he might need some of these people next year. So the more playing time they get, the better it's going to be for him.
It would appear then that Lethbridge, for the second year in a row, will be denied a place in the Final Four tournament. They won it at Fredericton 2 years ago. They were not able to get out of the regionals last year, and they are down 21 points to the University of Victoria. Let's make that 22 points as McKay, who's been on the floor a minute and a half, has 4.
They just ran into a buzzsaw tonight. I mean, there are not many teams that we've seen this year they're going to be in a ball game with Victoria when they come out playing the way they have tonight.
L looks and fires.
No foul.
And they get a foul called, and the basket will count. Rob Layton, who checked into the ball game for Lethbridge. Coming into the ball game, and the starters leave for Lethbridge and get a good hand as Ken Olenek will put some of his young people into the ball game so that they can feel a part of this team effort. A losing effort on this occasion, but a lot of credit to Ken Olenek for the job he's done building a program basically with youngsters from southern Alberta. This is not an out-of-province team by any means. These are all boys who played their high school ball in the south, and they are getting a chance to play at the university level, and 4 of them may graduate this year. But there will be more to take their place in the future, and Ken Olenek will do a job with them. You can be assured of that.
Certainly, he's done a great job in 7 years, and as you say, almost every one of these kids can walk to school. And none of them have to get in an airplane to find out where Lethbridge is. They've all grown up in this area, and he's got some others coming along. He's going to be in the playoffs regularly. And as I say, I don't know anybody who's going to beat Victoria tonight. Not the way they came out. After they had a little letdown right at the end of the first half, then it came out like Tigers. No chance of getting out back in the game with them.
And a turnaround jumper, and Jamie McClellan drains one. Graham Taylor. Scrub. 20 seconds left in the ball game. Victoria, for the 7th year in a row, is going to the Nationals. They've won it the last 6 years. The way they're playing, they'll be tough to stop again. DeVoke missed. Rebound and foul. Seven seconds left. The game is lost, and Ken Olenek still up, addressing educational remarks in the direction of the referees.
Well, I'll tell you, back in Victoria, we've got a few people back in Victoria that are probably excited right now. I know Kathy Shields has got to be excited. Howard Kelsey, the athletic director, works for Ken Shields. Back in Victoria, has got to be all excited. And then Tom Nogasherva, who played with this team for many, many years, still working at the university. They're all watching this ball game, and I know they're just as excited as Ken is about the result.
And some of the alumni who played for this team over the years might be watching if they're not playing some basketball themselves somewhere, like Eli Pasquale and some of those other great players.
Bet you like. Well, I know Kazanowski isn't, because I talked to him today. He's in Sweden, and Greg Wiltshire is in Spain. But they've had some great players. But I tell you, not only the players that started this game and went, but some of these guys that are right out on the court now. I mean, Scrub we know about. We're talking about him early. But Freaky, this young man, I've always really liked Gary Taylor. Graham Taylor. Pardon me. Here they go.
So it's the second down, and the game comes to an end. A 20-point victory for the University of Victoria. Ken Shields and company have earned themselves a road trip to Halifax next week. And Jack, I think you said it, nobody would have beaten this team on this night the way they played.
It's over. It's over. I mean, it was over the beginning of the second half when Lethbridge tried to come back into the game. Victoria said, no thanks, let's go. We're headed for Halifax. That's all she wrote.
79-59, the final score. We'll take a break as the two teams shake hands and come back with more on the story from the Sportsplex in Lethbridge after this. 79-59, the final score. The University of Victoria headed for Halifax once again. It wouldn't seem like a national without the Vikings, and when they play like they played in this game, they won't ever be kept out of a Final Four tournament. David Sheehan with 20 points in the game and made a great effort. And David Sheehan always plays big when the games mean something, and this one meant a lot because this is the last year, and this was another chance to win another national title.
Yeah, well, in the last few weeks, we kind of struggled, and after our last loss against Saskatchewan, the guys really came together, and we really worked hard in practice, and it's paid off.
What was the key in this game?
Well, the key was to get the ball inside to our big man, because we had to, exploit the height difference, and to play good defense, stop their outside shooters, and not to foul.
David, we know Waterloo is going to be there again, so it might you might meet them again. We're not sure who else will be in the Final Four, but I know it means something special to be going to the Final Four in the last year of eligibility.
It does, really, but I'm just going to go out there and play like it's my first one and not really let it affect me, not let it bother me.
David, congratulations. Best of luck in Halifax. See you there next week.
Thank you.
Okay, Dave Sheehan steps out, and the head coach shakes hands with his veteran player and steps in. Kenny, you can be proud of the effort of this team, I think. They've struggled a little bit the last month or so, but they've played very well in this tournament, and that is Viking basketball like it can be played against Lethbridge in this one.
Well, thanks very much, Peter. Yes, I am very proud of them. They played with tremendous composure in here tonight. It's a little bit like a zoo in here from time to time, but the fellas' concentration was excellent. We didn't let the pressure get to us, and we executed very well.
You got a lot of points out of your forwards. Your bench came through again, but I thought your guards did a great job setting up the game.
That's for sure. Lloyd Scrub did a great job of controlling ourselves and just making sure that we were organized and moving the ball against against the press. Randy Steele and Vito Pasquale did their usual workmanlike job, and I'm just proud of them all.
Congratulations. Best of luck next week in Halifax.
Thanks very much.
Ken Shields, head coach of the Victoria Vikings. His team on the way to the Final Four, 79-59 winners over a game, but on this night, outgunned Lethbridge Pronghorns. More basketball coming up from the Sportsplex in Lethbridge in just a moment. 3,800 people at the Sportsplex in Lethbridge to watch the Victoria Vikings beat the hometown Pronghorns 79-59. And Jack Donahue, I think this was a game that was not lost by Lethbridge. It was won by a great effort by a great team.
I don't know how anyone could have played against Victoria tonight. Sheehan played his normal game. You know, he just went at it. The backcourt men held their own. They didn't turn the ball over. They got a couple of points. The key thing was Clemens played like he was out of his mind. If he plays like that, he can dominate any team in this whole country.
All right, Jack, you and I have 2 more basketball games to do this year. The 2 semifinals from Halifax next Friday, 5 and 7:30 Eastern Time from the Metro Center. We know Waterloo will be there. We know Victoria will be there. 2 more teams still to be determined. The final score once again, Victoria 79, Lethbridge 59. For Jack Donahue and all of our people, so long from Lethbridge.
Basketball finals. Tonight in Lethbridge, the 6-time defending national title holders beat the hometown Pronghorns 79-59 to win the Western Regional. UVIC full marks for a great performance on the evening.
And
3,800 Pronghorn supporters jammed the Lethbridge Sportsplex for the CIAU Western Regional Final. The UVIC Vikings came out flying in the first half, 17 of 28 in the field goal department, 9 of 13 from the free throw line. Like center court Clemens playing a great two-way game down the middle. Lethbridge tried to move the ball to the perimeter of the key where their outside shooting could be utilized, but the pressure by the UVIC guards and rebounding by the forwards shut the Pronghorns down. The guards, starters Randy Steele and Lloyd Scrubb in particular, were tenacious in stripping the opposition forwards. Here Steele gets the loose ball to Scrubb, looks down court, sends it to David Sheehan. He's down the floor for a layup, the 5-year veteran with 20 points on the evening. 7-foot Cord Clemens, apparently fully recovered from his back injury problems, was tireless. He led all scorers with 23. UVIC win it 79-59, a 20-point victory against a tough opponent on the road. Great confidence booster heading to nationals in Halifax next weekend.
After our last loss against Saskatchewan, the guys really came together and we really worked hard in practice, and it's paid off.
What was the key in this game?
Well, the key was to get the ball inside to our big man, because we had to, exploit the height difference, and to play good defense, stop their outside shooters, and not to foul.
They played with tremendous composure in here tonight. It's a little bit like a zoo in here from time to time, but the fellas' concentration was excellent. We didn't let the pressure get to us, and we executed very well.
Meanwhile, at the Midwest Regional Tournament in Saskatoon, Byron Tokarczuk scored 21 points for the Saskatchewan Huskies. They upset top-ranked Manitoba 72-59, while in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, the University of Western Ontario defeated Arcadia 63-62. Earlier,
the defending champions get to the Final Four again. UVIC and Toronto are the team winners in swimming and diving. And the gymnasts have their day in Hamilton. Welcome to this week's edition of the Canadian College Magazine. A lot to talk about in the next 30 minutes as we review the CIAU finals in gymnastics and swimming and diving. We'll also look ahead to next week's CIAU hockey finals in Edmonton. But the major story this week is a preview to the Final Four tournament in men's basketball. That, of course, gets underway Friday night at the Metro Center in Halifax. Last year's finalists are back once again, along with a couple of newcomers.
One of those new faces belongs to the Western Mustangs, who will be making their first appearance in the national tournament since 1968. The Mustangs pulled off a pair of upsets last weekend in the Far East Regional Tournament in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. They opened with a 78-74 overtime victory over 6th-ranked Prince Edward Island. The home court Acadia Axemen knocked off 4th-ranked York 86-69 in the other semifinal. On Saturday, the Panthers knocked off York 73-60 in the bronze medal match, setting the stage for 11th-ranked Western and 15th-ranked Acadia to go at it in the final.
Acadia took a 36-29 lead into the halftime, but Western gradually chipped away at the Axemen lead. Jamie Siegel's off-balance jumper from the lane pulled the Mustangs to within 1. Chris Cavender of the Mustangs was the big shooter for Western. This turnaround jumper, 2 of 30 points on the game. With less than 5 minutes to go, Kevin Armstrong canned the 18-foot jumper to put Western in front by 7, 61-54. But Acadia rallied. Minute to play, and Western leading by 3. Peter Morris worked hard on the offensive boards and tipped the rebound in. That made it 61-60. Now, 40 seconds to play. Mustangs by 1. Acadia worked the ball looking for the open shot. Morris ended up trying the turnaround jumper, but was off with the shot. Western controlled the rebound, moved the ball down court. Chris Cavender fouled on his layup attempt. Cavender went to the free throw line and under pressure sank both free throws. Western hung on to win the East Regional. The final score, Mustangs 63, Axemen 62.
I was, a little leery of us getting a bit too tentative. I mean, we had a lead, and it seemed we were content to just kind of slow the game down and try to rely on our defense. And you gotta be aware of getting hesitant on offense. We had to keep scoring, and that's not what we were doing. We're just getting a little bit too hopeful that the game would end, I guess.
We move now to the University of Waterloo, site of the Mid-East Regional Tournament. The Warriors, along with McGill, Calgary, and Winnipeg, played off to determine the second of 4 teams going to Halifax. On opening night, the Westmen knocked off McGill 85-75 in one semifinal, while the Warriors beat Calgary 81-72 in the other game. Saturday, the Redmen beat the Dinosaurs 85-78 as a prelude to the final, featuring Waterloo and the Winnipeg Westmen.
Waterloo was flat early on, and the Westmen took full advantage. Gord Tucker, a nice baseline jump shot. Winnipeg was in front by a pair. This time it's Tucker again. He puts the ball on the floor, goes and draws the foul. The Westmen were in front by 5. Waterloo finally found their game. Their ace shooter, Peter Savage, hit the jump shot. It was 18-17 Warriors. Rob Froese hit for 2. A good shot in traffic, and at the half, Waterloo was in front 38-29. Winnipeg rallied to take the early second-half lead before Waterloo's Rob Froese hit the outside jump shot to tie the game at 58. Then they were in store for a big finish. Paul Boyce, a jump hook, pulled Waterloo to within 1, 62-61. With 3 seconds left, his second free throw, Froese, is good. That put Waterloo up 63-62. That left one last chance for Winnipeg. The long shot was off. Waterloo took the Mid-East Regional, final score 63-62.
The Prairie Regional was held in Saskatoon, and more than 2,000 fans turned out for the 4 games on Friday and Saturday. Number 1 ranked Manitoba was entered in this regional, along with Dalhousie, Toronto, and the host Huskies.
On Friday night, Manitoba had all it could do to get by 16th-ranked Toronto 84-83 in the first semifinal. Saskatchewan prevailed 67-64 over 10th-ranked Dalhousie in the other semifinal. On Saturday, the Blues came up with a 79-76 win over the Tigers, a pretty good finish for Brian Heaney's Chargers after an inconsistent season. The final pitted Manitoba against Saskatchewan. It was the 4th time the two schools had met this year. The Bisons had won the first 3 games, but the Huskies, with more than 2,000 fans jammed into the Education Gym, were not to be denied. Despite the loss of starting guard John Cleveland with an ankle injury suffered during the warm-up, the Huskies got a big performance out of Byron Tokarczuk. The big center scored 21 points and hauled in 18 rebounds in the final game, and the supporting cast combined to limit Manitoba to just 22 points in the second half. Saskatchewan won at 72-59 to advance to the Final 4.
Meanwhile, in Lethbridge, TSN's cameras were on hand for the Western Regional. Defending champion Victoria, along with 5th-ranked Lethbridge, 9th-ranked Concordia, and the number 13 team, the St. Francis Xavier X-Men, made this perhaps the toughest regional in the country. Victoria and St. Francis Xavier opened the tournament on Friday night with more than 2,000 fans looking on at the Lethbridge Sportsplex.
I think we'll see it was a close game from the outset. Guard Lloyd Scrubb gets the ball at the top of the key and makes a nice move in the lane. Victoria was in front early on. For St. F.X., Chris Ross struggled in the early going, but soon began to find his shooting eye. This jumper, 2 of 19 points on the game for Ross. But it was only a matter of time before the Vikings went to their inside game. Sheehan found Cord Clemens down low, strong baseline move for a pair, and Victoria was in front by 4. We'll move now to some second half action. By far the most impressive player for X was guard Kyle Gale. Great move in the lane, 23 points for Gale in the game, pulled X to within 4 at 73-69. But the 6-time national champions showed their poise down the stretch. Pasquale fouled on the layup attempt. He went to the free throw line where he was 80% efficient on the game. With 35 seconds left, Monty Gallant narrowed the score to 76-71 with his turnaround jumper off the glass. But the Vikings were too experienced to fold as they advanced to the regional final with an 80-72 victory over St. F.X.
Well, we were a little worried immediately after the game against Saskatchewan, which we lost for the Canada West. And that first week of practices, because we had the weekend off, we went very hard. We did a lot of conditioning, and every drill was really competitive. And the whole attitude was to really be competitive, really to get really hungry for the ball. And in practices, we were doing competitive drills. If we lost, we ran. So, I mean, not only the running, but you also want to win so much. It gets that competitive attitude of, going.
Following the Victoria St. F.X. semifinal, the home court Pronghorns took on Concordia. Stingers had been #1 in Canada for a few weeks this spring, but some key injuries had occurred at a bad time, and Concordia came into the regional tournament ranked #9 in the country. And the Stingers had to contend with Ken McMurray. Never an easy assignment for any team playing Lethbridge.
It was a close game early on. Canada West All-Star Ken McMurray comes up with the steal. He went end-to-end. The finger roll dropped, and at that point, the game was deadlocked at 8. A key to the Concordia attack was center Rob Latter, but on this day, he could not get his normal shots to fall. There, a miss from the baseline. But while Latter struggled, forward Craig Norman did not. On a 3-on-1 break, Norman goes right to the hole, and the Stingers had built an 11-point lead. But the Pronghorns battled back, and it was because of the outside shooting of a pair of guards. There, McMurray hit from 20 feet, and his teammate, Brent Maxwell, on a pass from McMurray from the top of the key, and at the half, Lethbridge led 30-26. In the second half, not much would change. The Concordia inside game was still going nowhere as Latter was having all kinds of difficulty. Only 6 points on the day for the big center. At the other end of the court, though, the tough Pronghorn defense provided the turnover. McMurray goes end-to-end. He pulls up from about 10 feet with a man in his face. He cans the jump shot, and Lethbridge led by 8. From that point on, it was all Pronghorns. Good ball movement gets Jerome L down on the baseline. 2 of 16 for L in the game. The Pronghorns advanced to the final with a 77-58 victory over Concordia.
On Saturday, the Stingers came through with an 83-73 victory over the X-Men. Greg Norman led the way once again for Concordia, 34 points in the ball game. That set up a Canada West matchup in the final. #2 ranked Victoria against the #5 ranked Pronghorns.
In the early going, it was all Victoria. Off the inbounds play, Sheehan will miss the shot, but big 7-foot center Cord Clemens is there for the offensive rebound. Victoria led 20-8. At the other end, guard Ken McMurray was having an off night. He'd shot 67% from the floor a day earlier. He struggled in the final. Victoria took the miss up court. Sheehan will pull up from 8 feet. His shot is good off the glass, and Victoria led by 15. McMurray came back with some good shooting late in the half. Here he shows great touch on a beautiful fall-away jump shot to pull the Pronghorns to within 15. But it was all Victoria. Good ball movement will spread the zone. Clemens is free for the easy layup, and at the half, Victoria led by 11. In the second half, Victoria continued to have their own way. Randy Steele with a good play forces the turnover. David Sheehan will go in for the layup on the fast break. 20 points on the night for Sheehan. He had a great game. And while Sheehan was doing the job offensively, Clemens was controlling both ends of the court. From the defensive glass, he sent Lloyd Scrubb in for the pull-up jump shot. And Sheehan capped off a great night with a hard-nosed move to the basket from the high post as Victoria advanced to the final with a 79-59 victory.
In the last few weeks, we kind of struggled, and after our last loss against Saskatchewan, the guys really came together, and we really worked hard in practice, and it's paid off.
What was the key in this game?
Well, the key was to get the ball inside to our big man, because we had to, exploit the height difference, and to play good defense, stop their outside shooters, and not to foul.
And so the Final Four has now been determined. Victoria and Saskatchewan from Canada West, Waterloo and Western from the OUAA West. And we'll look at the matchups when we come back